I'm called Twebaze Diogene, district senior entomologist, Kasese district. So I'm going to talk about water for production in Kasese district. Kasese district has good soils and can produce food. But the only challenge we have is the water, especially when it is off season, when there is no rains, or when the season does not do well. The rains come and a short time they disappear. Families or communities that they are cultivating have a challenge. Around River Nyamwamba, especially in an area called Nyakasanga, some people decided to go agriculture around that area, and they channeled the river into the land, and they are using the water for cultivation. Now, because of that, they have created a weakness, so that when the river floods, it follows that weakness and bags into the people. And eventually, we have had the whole town flooded. A big percentage of the town flooded, and some areas of the Kanyangea, people have even vacated because the water flooded and has never dried. It created some potholes and it has remained there. So they were decided to vacate and were taken to Mohocha, pending government decision to look for them some titles and give them another land. So what does it mean? It means that Kasese as a district, when we have our rivers and we don't use them very well, they flood, and especially River Nyamwamba. And also people, because of the population pressure of the pressure of Kasese increasing, people are constructing up to the river. What used to be a swampy place, now they are homes. So when water comes, you know, water will always follow its channels. So it passes what it used to pass and finds their home. So what happens? It sweeps the home. And then there's an alarm that some families have been swept by the water. Government come and help, but the government is coming to help because of our own mistake. The government, the Ministry of Water, has a project is implementing that is building embankment on River Nyamwamba. They have done the research and they have seen how they can implement it so that they reduce this impact of flooding into the people. So they are going to construct an embankment and also plant trees so that they can help in climate change. So the indigenous trees are going to be planted. There is already a budget. We are waiting for only implementation. Come this year and next year, it is a project of 5 years. We are going to handle it, and we are hopeful that after that we shall have good stay with our river Nyamwamba. And some other rivers like River Sewe, where they started the project planting bamboo trees and other species, it is doing very well. You can there see that water is being protected and being put in one place and it's no longer flooding to the people. But only the challenge we have is River Nyamwamba, which they are trying to implement.
Too expensive. The water is too expensive. Here, you find that a jerrycan, you buy it like say 1,000, which is, you find that 1,000 is not easily gotten by every public. And in such a way, most people go without water, without having that safe water because it is too expensive. Even not only that one, having bottled water like Renzori water, it's also expensive. Find that bottle you buy 1,000 or above that money. Point number 2 is time consuming, e.g. boiled water. So time consuming, it's self-explanatory. You see, you can take more minutes boiling it, though you are using a heater or firewood. It takes a lot of time preparing it. It's time consuming. Point number 3, it is not reliable. This point here, it's not there full time. You may find that you can, maybe you want it for drinking, the place you are in, it's not there. Like for example, you may be having your garden like in the mountains there, you cannot, you will not find there safe water. Rather you find there maybe river water which is not safe for drinking. It's not reliable. Another point is safe water is not accessible. most times you may find that it's not there. So because it's safe, it's not there. It's always you cannot find it easily. Another point is long distance to the source. Here you find that most people move in search of safe water long distances. When a person may move like from here, like there to Chidodo looking for safe water. Another point is that congestion and competition on the taps. Here you find that this one we can witness it in Kasese. You find that we can arrange the jerrycan up to the other side. People stay there fetching water. Others come, they find other jerrycans that are there waiting. So it is there's a lot of competition and congestion. And then there's another point of domestic violence. Domestic violence here, I find that at this point, the members got it from the congestion. So when there is fights, maybe you send children to the tap. When they result into fighting, who to fetch first, and then find that those quarrels they end up going where at home. And those quarrels, even the parents, they go also get engaged in the fight. So it leads to domestic violence. Even the parents themselves, they whip the children. That why have you delayed on the taps? So it leads to a problem of domestic violence. Poor relief. It's also a problem that is faced by that we should get. So there's another also challenge, which is climatic change effects, e.g. heavy rains and droughts. Here, the climatic change effects, e.g. heavy rains and droughts, you find when it has rained heavily, those erosions of the water and the rains, they go into the rivers, hence they darken the water. When they have darkened the water, so we find that it becomes a challenge to be consumed or to be used because it has been darkened by the heavy rains, which is a climatic change. Now the droughts, you find that when it's too sunny, when there's too much sunshine, some of the water sources like the spring, they dry up, and it's not always easy to get water, so it becomes a problem. So there's another last point, which is the poor farming activities. Yes, so these poor farming activities, it is also a challenge which affects or which we face in accessing safe water, whereby we find that now, for example, people as who stay on the mountains, we are advised that we are supposed to put the terraces on our lands, so that when it rains heavily, water comes and falls in the terrace, and then it reduces the speed. When it's full, it goes and flows into another one. So, but find that people don't do that. So it rains. When it rains, it just comes with terrible speed, and it washes all the soil. When it has washed the soil, it carries everything down to the water source, and whereas the water was already safe, but due to this mud and the soils which have been cut into the water source, they contaminate it and it becomes dirty, and you find that it's a problem. You cannot no longer access it. Our members of Group 1 to explain for us poor relief.
Some areas where this pipeline cannot be obstructed, so it affects such community to access safe water. So the topography of the area affects in the construction of tap water.
She's saying that we cannot die because of that. She's calling on all of the members to ensure that we should be boiling water in whatever condition, whether we don't have the fuel to prepare the water, we should try by all means to boil the water.
Yeah, this was my recommendations that in our communities, let us try to endeavor to make sure that our water we take is boiled. If you cannot access clean water, otherwise you will die tomorrow of cholera, typhoid. You fail to boil water for 10 minutes, but you go to hospital and pay 2 million. So you need to have that cost-benefit analysis.
I was saying, our one is like a request that the government should provide this Kasese. So for them to somehow speed and quick. When they put Kasese in the water, like 1 minute, the water is already safe. So that's what my request. After that, water plants, Kasese,